We are live.
We
Hello. Hello.
oh my goodness. So, guys, we are back after a long hiatus. Actually, I think
Woo.
the last thing we did was Cabo. Was it Cabo?
Wow. Yes.
The
Yes.
last that was the end of season 2. That was our grand finale, and what a way
Wow.
to
And
go
it wasn't even like a
out.
real podcast. That was just like a vacation. That was just
That
so
was
much
more than a
fun.
vacation. It was like Nirvana.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, this is season 3.
Season.
We're back with season 3. We've been in the lab. We've been doing some research, looking at algorithms, all that
Oh,
technical stuff
oh,
that
that sounds good.
we didn't do.
Not at
Antoinette did it.
all.
But we're back for season 3, and our season 3 is called something about self-care. Antoinette, help us out. Antoinette, help us out.
Look, that's typically us. Don't know what's going on.
What you say, Jess?
I said that's typically us. Don't know what's going on. But we
Oh my
here.
God. Season 3 is starting like season 2 ended.
But it's okay. It just gets better. So stay with us, right?
Yes.
So
We're going to grow together.
you'll be on this progression with us. You'll see us like kind of maybe stumble through a little things, and then by the midway, we'll be like
On
perfect,
fire.
on fire. Yes,
Absolutely.
we'll be
Absolutely.
saying,
So we're going to come back with what our season 3 is called.
"I love that."
Unless
I
Jessica,
love it.
you know.
A guide to self-love. Season
Say it
3.
again.
Season 3, a guide to self-love.
A guide to
We're going to talk
self-love.
about non-negotiables and
I
why.
love it.
That's
I
it.
love
I love
it.
that.
And that's why we need a team.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be out here by myself.
Yes. So just in case anybody's new, I'm Gail, your personal development coach.
I'm Jessica, your financial advisor.
And I'm Tammy, your spiritual motivator.
And as you can see, Jessica is off site today. Jessica is still at home in Alabama, but we're virtually all together, so
That's
that's
right.
cool.
Yes.
So, how are you ladies doing? I mean, it's been I see Tammy all the time, and I see Jessica at because we're business partners. But just overall, how are you ladies been doing since Cabo?
Oh, since Cabo, you're
Since
taking me back.
Cabo, we gotta update the.
Oh,
the
well, I'm going to have to
community.
backtrack. I'm just going to start with today, right? I was in
Okay.
grandma mode. So, but it was a good day. I was really sort of relaxed today,
Good.
honestly, getting ready.
Good.
And overall, it's been good. I'm still in retirement heaven.
Ooh, say that.
And I will never come
That
out.
part.
Retirement heaven is where I live. So
Mm-hmm.
you can only imagine. It's heaven, right?
Yes. I guess you can't have too many bad days in retirement heaven.
No, not at all.
Because
No.
you can always just get into bed.
Ooh, some days I do that. Start out with my morning prayer, and then I said, I don't think so. I need to start over.
Start over. Do over.
But overall, yeah, we're good.
Good.
We're good.
What about you, Miss Jess?
I'm a little salty because you guys are in retirement heaven, and I'm here working, but I'll get there. I got full faith in myself that I'll get there.
Amazing.
You look amazing.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm looking down because I'm looking at Jessica on my
I'm trying to see
laptop.
on
Oh, answer that.
laptop.
There she is. Look, we'll share.
I
I'll
just
share.
don't want to look down.
Oh, you're smart. So you're better at this.
Trust you. I trust you. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see that when we
I
get into
see that. I'm like, why am I looking down? So give me some time. I need a little more training, but that's okay.
all good.
All good.
At some point we'll invest in a monitor.
Oh, I like that.
We'll
Yes,
see it all from there.
absolutely. Okay,
So I guess we can jump in.
let's jump
to
in.
our non-negotiables.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, let's just talk about what it is.
What is Jessica? You really brought this
You
topic
did.
to us. So I think you should kick us off because I was kind of like, hadn't really thought about it. But Jessica has really triggered some thoughts in my mind. So, Jessica,
Yes.
what's a non-negotiable?
So some things, first of all, I thought about this because I was strolling on social media one day, and a childhood friend of mine actually brought up the notion. He was like, what are some things that you're just simply not going to settle for? And what are those non-negotiables? And so I said, wow, people, we're actually in the last month of the first quarter as of today. And so 2023 has been exposed to us. A lot of people have those New Year's resolutions. And now that 2023 is here and it hit us in the mouth, it's like, okay, I'm seeing a lot of people saying they need a reset. And so, why are you needing a reset? Like, what are some things you're letting slide that shouldn't slide? So, I thought about it. I was like, wow, non negotiables. Like, do people actually have boundaries these days? So, I felt like it would be an excellent topic for us to discuss on today, because I wanted to know, like, what are you guys non negotiables? Mine is actually boundaries, the boundaries that I set up for myself. Not allowing people to, well, I can't even say not allowing people, because if I set a boundary for myself, the only person who can cross that boundary is myself, because I allowed it to happen. So what are some non-negotiables that you guys say, hey, I'm just not settling on, there's no compromising with it? And this could be totally anything. This could be relationships, a person's personality, or, can you deal with someone who's funny, someone who's serious all the time? Or you guys may be like me, just actually setting up boundaries for myself to abide by. And I think with me, when I stated that I was going to set boundaries and I was no longer going to cross those boundaries, like, I literally got a sense of peace of mind. I mean, it was like nutrition for my mental health. It was nutrition for my physical being. Because if I say at the end of the day, I'm not taking no more clients after 5 o'clock, and the old Jess would say, okay, it's only like 5:30. Let me see what they need. I got so caught up in the situation is the boss. Like, what I got coming up, do I need this money right now? And I'll kind of like ignore my own boundary. But on the back end of that, I was drained. I didn't have enough time to do what I wanted to do with the family. They only getting 20% of my time, because I'm giving everybody else that time. So I said, no, I'm going to create these boundaries this year. I'm going to stick with these boundaries this year. And guess what? It is what it is. And if you guys ain't rocking with it, hey, like the young people say, get somebody else to do it.
Oh, is that what they're saying now?
I don't know. Good, Jessica.
Yes.
And just to back up a little bit, I can see, because you're right, a lot of people set goals for the new year, their resolutions or whatever, and by March it's like, I need a reset because that didn't happen. But I think that is what happens a lot of times throughout our different areas of our lives, because life will get in the way. Life is going to happen and it isn't going to stop. And we can have these goals and these expectations, and then because, like Jessica said, we haven't set hard boundaries, then we'll end up, self-care is the first thing to go. We'll end up putting ourselves on the back burner and, going on dealing with whatever life has brought us. So, I think just listening, and, we talked about it a little bit before, but I think that your non-negotiables and boundaries change with different phases.
That's good.
Of your life.
Okay.
Because what I found is, like you talked about, we're in retirement heaven now. Well, my non-negotiables are soft. Because I said, although I have goals, I have plans, I have intentions about what I'm going to do, and I will get those things done, but I will allow some interruptions. And so my non-negotiable might be soft. So, like, I have grandchildren who I love to life, and I don't know, Roland might need a bottle or something. When I'm doing something that I have this block time, my 4 hours or whatever, and so I won't stop doing it. And so, saying that to say, Jessica, my non-negotiables were probably a little more stringent before I retired. And even when I was younger, because you have different energies at different times, and your your goals, I guess, your perspective changes
Mhm.
at different stages in your life. So yeah, I don't know that I have any hard non-negotiables right now, other than I'm a little anal about not finishing
You're
stuff
planning. You
and
are.
quitting.
Yes.
Like if I start something, it's like, oh, I have to
You have to
finish
finish
this. It's
it.
like we started this book and we're going to read it, but I didn't have time to finish it. And now we're on to this other book. Okay, well, I'm gonna hurry up
You
and
have to
finish
finish the
this
other
one
right.
before we go. So I guess one of my non-negotiables is not quitting,
Mhm.
not leaving something incomplete.
That's
and
good.
that's valid because that sounds like commitment. Like that's a non-negotiable for you because once you commit to something, you're committed. You're not giving up on that, and nothing's wrong with that. So, and that's a good non-negotiable to have.
You know, Gail, this is my sister. Sister from another Mister.
Mister.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Because it
it,
has
it
to
rhymes.
rhyme.
Exactly.
Dr. C.
Because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, wow, you know what? I'm going to be out here for the people that really had not set non-negotiables or had thought about it. But I think it's really to what Gail is saying, because I am in retirement heaven. I am a lot more flexible. But however, there are certain things like my values, right? There are certain core values that I have that are non-negotiable. No matter, I don't care if everybody else is doing something, but if I've set a value and it goes against the value, then that's something that I hold dear to me. And so I will say that there are some things that I have more flexibility with. So I think you really kind of defined it, and you're helping me because I'm like, oh my God, Jessica's coming with this whole list.
Because me and Tammy were like crickets at first. We were like, non-negotiable.
Yeah,
You know why though? I think because it's something that we really don't think about.
Think about, right?
Yes. And
We
sometimes
never
it's
think about
inherent. We even have them.
Yes.
But we just don't even talk about it
Exactly.
or think about it. It's
Exactly.
probably second nature.
Until you ask yourself like why you feeling burnt out or why this, why that.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then more than likely it's because I always tell people nobody could do nothing to you that you did not allow to happen to you if you have control over it. So that's when we start to ask ourselves all of these questions, is when we're going through something, we're trying to figure out, well, why I let this happen anyways? That's because you didn't have boundaries in place. You didn't commit to something. You wasn't passionate about something along those lines.
I looked up the word non-negotiable. I was
Okay.
really like, okay, I want to be prepared here. I want to go in, and I just want to read this because I think it really is going to help just kind of bring clarity, right? It did for me. But a non-negotiable is a core value or principle that acts as your guiding compass toward achieving your goals and vision. Non-negotiables are the central tenets of your life that surpass all others. But what I like here is it's the guiding compass, right, towards your goals. And where Jessica's saying, if you don't have those, or even if you do, to Gail's point, that it may be inherent, you may not really think about it. But I think it's really good that we're having a discussion so we can think about what are those non-negotiables. And, I like where Jessica is honing in on boundaries. I have to go to church here for a minute because last Sunday, Bishop Calvin, shout out to Judah family. Actually, the message was about boundaries and barricades. That's a whole nother conversation,
Okay.
but really it was about setting boundaries and how important it is to have boundaries for yourself.
Yeah.
It really is to protect you. And so you think about your life, and now we really want to be intentional. To Gail's point about goals, I like the commitment. I'm sort of like that too. I'm still, like, wait a minute, we said we were going to do this.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, so we're not doing that, but are we going to close? How do we, I just want to clean.
We need closure.
Break, a closure. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. So I think it's important, right, that we have this. So thank you, Jessica, for bringing this up, because I think it's important to have this conversation, to think about non-negotiables, right? And go even beyond, for me, those values, that spirituality, and think about even, setting an agenda or making plans. Are you going to be true to your word, right?
Yes.
That's something as well. So, hey, I'm, again, just kind of being more open to really having that self-reflection and, identity to identify what my non-negotiables are.
Absolutely. And throughout the definition where you was reading, it made me think of, I don't know who said it, so don't quote me, but I'm gonna quote what it was. It said,
To the best of your ability.
if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
So
yes.
that alludes to the same thing. If you don't have boundaries in place, then you are necessary. You'll fall for anything. And then even in relationships, I think that's why a lot of relationships fail, is because nobody set boundaries. You can't compromise on everything, right? Within a relationship, you're gonna compromise with some things, but some things just are absolutely non-negotiables. Like, hypothetically speaking, this person might like an open relationship, but then the other partner like, I ain't with that. But you never stated anything, and you just letting things ride. Like, excuse my French, hell no, that's a non-negotiable.
And I'm just gonna need you to have that conversation before y'all get married.
Absolutely.
There had to be some indications, like when y'all were dating, like,
Oh, bring
Like,
your
you know,
girlfriend. Like, what'd you say, Willis? Yeah, and that. But Jessica, I thought about that because actually, as I was researching and looking at non-negotiable, it really talked about being able to have those non-negotiables identified. So when you're faced with these challenges and with tough situations occur, then you'll already have this guide, right? Sort of speak, this compass that is going to kind of help you go in the direction that you want to go. You don't want to wake up and say, "How did I get here?"
yeah.
Isn't that a song?
But but to that point, that's easy to do. And that's what happens when you just let life happen and you're in a reactive state instead of leaning on your values or looking at those goals you set or being intentional about what you do. You can end up, especially in a relationship, especially us moms, because we go from that girl to that mom, that employee, that wife, that, you know what I mean? All of that. And you can, at some point, 5 years later, it's like, who am I? And how did I get
How
here?
did I get here?
Yeah.
How did I get here?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Lost in the sauce. And that's so good. I like the fact that you stated intentional. And that's what a lot of people lack. Me and Tammy, we talk about it all the time, how we just wing stuff. We just out here winging it. But, throughout last season, and I give all praises to Gail because with her personal development skills, it allowed me to reflect on some of the things that I was doing. I was like, Jess, you need to be more intentional about the things that you're doing. And instead of winging it all the time, it's okay to just sit back, put some real thought into it, and rock with that, having that guide. So, Gail, shout out to you. I love you for it.
I love my sister.
Yeah.
Jessica, I was thinking about, oftentimes we get in these relationships, and not necessarily with a significant other, but it could be your girlfriend or whatever. And we tend to, we seem to forget sometimes that we're looking through our lens, through our filter, and we think that we can change the other person or that we have the idea that they should be doing it the way we do it. And the one thing we do have control over is us.
Absolutely.
So our non-negotiables, I feel like, should first start with us.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're not judging. Make sure that you're not making assumptions, and make sure that you don't think that you can change somebody else.
Absolutely.
Because other people, the way they are, they may not just be your cup of tea, but they're not bad. You know what I mean? They're just different. And you just decide whether or not that's something that you want to deal with. So yeah, I tend to hold my non-negotiables to self-reflection, to say what I'm not going to do and what I am going to do, because I am the only one I can control.
Absolutely. I like the, because, for just, I don't know, I think it's a part of our family upbringing, but we're for everybody, we're for just accepting and embracing and understanding that, we all are different. Right. So, having, as you said, your non-negotiable or your boundary, it really is for you. That is not for someone else. That doesn't really, help them. It may, to a certain degree, but really it's about yourself, taking, the time to identify what those things are. But as you said, everybody is different. So what may be non-negotiable for you may not be for the other person.
Right.
And like you said, it doesn't mean that they're bad. They may just be different.
Absolutely.
And we're not talking about no crimes and no criminals here. So I just want to put that disclaimer. We understand not breaking the law, but that's what we're speaking of, right? Just somebody who likes
Absolutely.
you
So
like
my
it hot, I like it cold.
non-negotiable is I'm not going to let other people's actions or words dictate how I present myself in the day.
That's good.
How I show up in the day is based on how I want to show up, not based on what you said to me or what you did. So that's a non-negotiable for me. I promise you, your words are not going to hurt me.
And that is so mature. Honestly, that comes with wisdom and maturity, and I love it. I was listening to something today, and I think it was ET's podcast or was someone's. I don't know. I'm like Jessica. We quoting stuff now. We don't know. But it was like they were trying to get information about someone, and they couldn't get clarity on it. And someone said, "But do you need it?" And they paused. Like, why are you going through all of this energy and effort trying to dig deep and find out why someone's doing what they're doing? Sometimes, it's like, let that go.
Exactly. How's it going to change your life?
Yeah.
How is it going to pay? And it's so funny. It reminds me of when reality TV first started.
Okay.
I go all the way back.
Okay.
Back in the day. And I was like, what a joke. Right. People don't care about what other people are doing. Oh, but they do. But how much do they?
Hollywood.
And that made me think of that because how is that going to help you? You knowing this information about this other person.
Exactly.
People care.
People care.
People are sitting back watching other people live.
Wow.
Which is scary.
That is scary.
That's a non-negotiable.
Very scary. And that's why a lot of people in the situations that they're in now, because you never had the chance to really, well, I don't want to say you never had the chance. You never took the time to actually sit with yourself and figure out what are the things that you need. What are the things that inspire you? You too busy watching the next person. That's why now I'm so intentional. You guys, I monitor like my screen time, how much I'm on this phone. I didn't got very, very comfortable with putting my phone on do not disturb after a certain time. And I I've been able to wake up on time, to get my workout in, starting to eat right, being able to just have that mental clarity that I need to actually prepare myself for the next thing that's on my agenda for the next day. So being very intentional, but that took me doing the work first. That means me having to sit with myself, think about the things that Jess need, nourish Jessica for a moment, right? And then I came up with those boundaries, and hey, it is what it is.
That goes back. I had read something and I wrote it down. Non-negotiables provide structure, and that's what I'm hearing, right? Structure and maybe even a little comfort, knowing we are not straying too far from what matters most.
And Jessica said,
isn't that exactly? Yes, Jessica, you are on it with these non-negotiables, girl. And it really, again, it just challenges. It's just really challenging me to really think about that, because sometimes I will say this in my retirement having. It is like, wait a minute, do I even need a calendar? What day is it? But after, you can't hang with Gail for so long without saying, wait a minute.
Look, you got this big old, you think you this, and then when Gail come out with her book, you like,
girl, I start putting stickers on I'm like, I need to put some stickers on my book. But yes, no, honestly, I love it, Jessica, because of what I hear, that you have been intentional about setting your boundaries, and that's bringing that structure in your life. And it's even giving you comfort, think about what you just said with your health. So and I'm loving it that we're kind of doing this reset here, right? So now, even if we didn't, or someone out there didn't have a non-negotiable, or even think about it, it's not too late, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And actually, we should make that an action item.
Yeah.
We want everybody to be a little self-reflective.
Yes.
Think about what non-negotiables you have, even if they're in place and you've never really called it out, but you react or respond based on certain things.
Yes.
And write those non-negotiables down, and just be a little more intentional about navigating through life with these non-negotiables in place.
There you go.
Peace of mind is nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
You can achieve so much more.
And so we can say we all need to have them, right? Yes. What are those things that are I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jess.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying we need to say what are those deal breakers? What are those things that are not up for discussion? Not, this is not negotiable.
Yeah.
So we really want to be intentional about that. And I just think again, we're going to experience this comfort and this, structure, and it's going to help
you're
us.
You're going to get to show up as your best
Ooh,
self. And I think that's where we should start. Picture what would that look like? What does my best self look like?
This is
and then work on those non-negotiables. Because if my best self is 20 pounds lighter, then a non-negotiable is me going to fast food restaurants every time, because I'm out of time. You bring some carrots or something, but you get my point.
Yes.
Determine what your best self looks like, and then come up with the non-negotiables that will take you away from being that person.
Yes. Whether, think about, look, your financial management. This is Jessica's lane, but debt-free living. That could be right a non-negotiable. So what are your goals? How do you get there? Gail talked about the weight. Maybe it's spirituality. Maybe I just want to, improve and strengthen my relationship with God. So I think you ask those questions of yourself first, right? And then put the goals in place to help you get there. But then you have those non-negotiables. And again,
that's so important with setting non-negotiables, because I hear, we make these plans, and from a spiritual aspect, anything that we speak out loud, the enemy hears it too. So of course he's going to try to disrupt those things, right? So by you creating those non-negotiables, when that comes around, now you got something to stand on. Like, nope, this is a non-negotiable.
Yes, that's good.
What you do, I got these boundaries now. I don't care what it is. I got these boundaries right now. And also on the flip side, as I hear reset, I hear growth. And look, Tammy, I know who said this. She said anything that's not growing is dying. That was Miss Lauren Hill. But and that's such a factual statement, because if you aren't growing, then you're dying.
I'm sorry, Jessica. Go ahead.
You know the baby boomers over here. We have a sidebar. But we got you. Hey, if it's not growing, it's dying. Okay.
Yeah. So I think everybody need a reset, especially after everything we endured throughout, COVID, and that literally ran 2019 up until 2022, and some people are still trying to bounce back, right? They're still trying to bounce back. And so if you just keep going in the same state of mind that you've been in for the last 3 to 4 years, then it's definitely time for you to actually have a reset. And I mean like yesterday reset.
That's good. You know what I just thought about? Gail's comment about, being mindful that, understanding that people are different, right? So now that we're all going to focus on non-negotiables and bring that to the forefront of our minds, and to Jessica's point about setting boundaries, that was one of hers, is setting boundaries. But I'm going back to our message on Sunday. There's a difference between boundaries and barricades. Okay. So the boundaries you still will embrace, you will interact with others, you'll deal with others. But sometimes we have a tendency to set up a barricade where we're shutting people off.
Because a boundary can be flexible.
A boundary,
a little flexibility.
There's some flexibility. I got
Sometimes you might have to pivot.
But I'm not, I'm still protected.
We're done.
She got it. It's like no access, okay? Access denied. So let's just make sure that with our non-negotiables that we still are being open, because we're in this season, especially with the elevators, we need each other. And it is so important, I believe, for the sisterhood to continue to be strengthened. So these non-negotiables and these boundaries, you can still set them, but you can still also embrace others.
Absolutely. Because like I said before, they can change with different phases of your life. So don't hold on to your non-negotiable so tightly that you don't know when it's time to evolve into the next phase.
That's a good one.
And maybe set some different non-negotiables. Yeah, absolutely. I like that.
Good. Good. This is good, Jessica.
The same season. Everybody can't go into the next season with you. And just one of my boundaries, I'm gonna tell you guys, because it happened quite recently. Of course, you guys know I have a financial business and I have a website. So if you want to book a service or consultation, you can simply go on the website. If nobody answered a call or it's after hours, you can go online and book a consultation. So I had an individual, they reached out to me via Messenger, and they wanted to see how much the consultation was. So of course I referred them to the website. And so then they came back and said, well, I see it on the website, but I just got a few more questions before I actually booked the consultation. So the old me was sitting there like, okay, let's just see what they want. Then I said, no, a consultation is the questions that you want to ask me. So you can go online and book the consultation. After that, they came back with another rebuttal, and I left it on red. Now, was that a barricade? I don't know. But
I like that, Jessica, because you're in business.
You're right, absolutely.
Not in volunteer.
So I was like, okay, I'm not crossing this boundary no more, because I've done it too many times and people have gotten accustomed to that. And I was like, if I keep doing that, it's just going to drain me mentally. Like, book the consultation. Let me see what you're needing while we're right there together.
I would say that's a really good boundary, because you have these systems in place and you're just going to follow them. Absolutely. And to Gail's point, I can't control what you do, but I can control what I do. Okay?
And what you do to me.
So you didn't. You're not saying you will never talk to them, but there's a way that you get to the next level. Okay,
exactly.
A consultation.
Exactly. There you go.
So, I was just thinking. I saw this post on social media. It was something like, it listed all these steps to be a classy woman.
Okay.
And it was like, if you're going to wear shorts, consider wearing white shorts instead of denim shorts. So things like that. And it made me think of a non-negotiable for me is me not being authentic. Okay. My authentic self. If this is what it takes to be classy, then that's not who I am. That's okay. Gotcha. You're going to have to come up with another title for me, because a non-negotiable for me is I'm going to be my authentic self. I'm going to be happy with me.
Yes. And they should have said classy in their book. That may not be classy in everybody else.
Who's defining classy?
Oh my goodness. This is helping the elevators, because this is how we live, right? You'll see we're all different, right? And we're going to be true to us. And so you may see this post on social media to say, this is what classy is.
Yes.
And a lot of those things you were like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So
not gonna buy that.
That's why she took time to identify who she is, and she know that's not her. But some people don't have that discipline. Oh, that's what's in. That's what I'm gonna rock then.
Wow. Yes. There's so many people that are hop-ons, which is, that's not necessarily a good thing, because that's probably an old term. Kanita over here.
A hop on. I was Kanita, but I like that. A hop on. It sounds so cool to me.
But I'm hearing the opposite, a jump off, but that's another story.
Jump off. But I just feel like that's a marketing thing. We live in a capitalistic society, and whatever it takes to make money, that's what you do.
Absolutely.
So, and there's so many people who there are more followers out here than leaders, in my opinion. And so if you can get people to say, oh, I'm going to run towards this shiny thing, or I'm going to run towards that shiny thing, then that's just making people money.
Right.
And so, I just say, be careful about letting other people tell you who you should be.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yeah, that's good. I like that, Gail. Really good.
Most of the time, people only listen to people who telling them who they are simply because they have not discovered who they are.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're having this conversation, right? Today, we're saying, let's set some non-negotiables. And I like that you brought up style, right? Look at your fashion, because everybody can't wear everything, or, shouldn't. I was going to say shouldn't, but really be true to you. And because, things happen, trends, they come and they go. And some trends you might say, I'm not going to hop on that bandwagon.
And I love a trend.
Okay.
On you.
There you go. I'm just not going to do it.
That looks good on you.
Don't last.
That's a good one. I like that. Hey, so yes, I love the fact when we are setting these non-negotiables, then you won't be a hopper. You won't hop on the bandwagon.
Don't say what I said.
I'm just gonna say it because Gail is cool.
Elevators right now. Let me Google this. What is a hopper?
Hopper.
But I shortened it.
Hopper. I'll
Hopper.
say hopper too. Don't be a hopper.
A hopper, a hop on.
There you go. And see, this is how you lead. You set your own language.
Yes.
Okay. You don't have to go on. What do you jump off and all that other stuff?
Look, and people like
y'all
us,
put
we
some
just take the
comments.
time to go try to figure it out later.
So when y'all put some comments down, use hashtag hopper.
Hashtag hop. We're not a hopper. Okay. But we can be a hop on. We can use that as well. But at the end of the day, I think having these non-negotiables, having these boundaries will really help you. Because honestly, think about if you follow every trend, every fad, every social media, comment. It is like
challenge.
You will be.
Tammy just made my hair hurt saying all that already.
Exactly. And can you imagine people that are doing that? So I like the fact that Jessica's saying, I'm going to even minimize some of my screen time.
Screen time.
I'm just going to stop because it's never ending, right?
Mhm.
That's what it is, but you still have to manage it.
And I tell y'all, I found myself like, it became routine in order for me to go to sleep. Now, this is my transparency moment.
Yeah.
I rarely watch TV.
Mhm.
And so I find myself always in my phone. I'm on Instagram looking at stuff to make me laugh until I fall asleep and then wake up the next morning with a headache. I'm like, why?
Wow.
That's because you've been on your phone all night. You didn't
Mm.
put yourself to sleep. Now you're tired mentally. You
Mhm.
didn't give yourself a mental break just to not think.
Wow. Yeah.
So
That's
I was
good.
like, okay, I got to do better.
Got to do better. Yeah. See, you're controlling. You're taking control.
You are taking control. And it takes it being intentional to be above average.
Ooh,
Most people are average and they do average things.
That's good.
But it takes work, which Jessica, I think you said something along the lines of, people not wanting to do the work and they want the easy button.
That's a good challenge. Hey, she elevates. We're going to set a challenge. We're just talking to minimize your screen. If social media is one of the things that you struggle with or that you deal with a lot, right? And you want to really control that, then do as Jessica's saying. We're not saying however it is, but maybe be a little more intentional about the time that you spend on social media and really hone in at that point, whether you're going to get your rest, go to sleep, or whether you're going to do something
personal development.
There you
work
go.
On yourself.
Work on yourself. Look, read a book. I don't know. Go clean up. I'm sure there's a lot of things you can do out here.
And I ask myself, because I tell my kids every morning before they get on the school bus, be great because you are. They say great. I say be a blessing because you are. They say a blessing. I say and be intentional because you are. I am intentional. And I was like, I'm turning around, going back to my room, getting ready. Just what you gonna be intentional about today?
That's good. She's like, okay, I done told the children now.
I done told the kids. Now what you gonna do today?
Yeah,
that's important.
Yes.
That's important.
Yes.
Do as I do, not as I say.
And you know what it says to me? We're never too old to do the work, to clean up, right? And it's still time. So that again, great topic. Thank you, Jessica. Yes. Non-negotiable.
I think we finally got it, Jess.
And I want to be able to expand this since this is going to be like season 3, self-love. We touched just a little bit on certain areas, but I really think we can dive deeper into like specific areas on what that looks like in the upcoming episodes, whether that's our sex life, our work life. I think like what are non-negotiables for you? And I would like for look at Tammy like I would like for our elevators to be interactive with us about.
Absolutely.
There you go.
To that point, Jessica, guys, list in the comments some of your non-negotiables.
Oh, that's good.
If you know right now that certain things are boundaries,
Deal
deal breakers, throw them in the comments. Let us
Yes.
know what your
Say
non-negotiables
this is
are.
not up for discussion.
What's
Yes.
not going to happen.
Okay.
Look,
And
let me
what
tell
I
you what
hope you doing.
let me tell you what I ain't gonna do. So
Just
Yes, that would be interesting to hear. And you know what? Then that's really good, Gail, that you said to do that, because sometimes when you hear someone else is non-negotiable,
yes.
you
You can say that is what's missing in my repertoire. I need to make that my non.
That's
a little bit.
Okay.
I need to make that my non-negotiable.
That's good.
To help
Yes,
me.
and that's again, because this is not a race here, and this isn't a secret society, and it's like my non-negotiables can't be your non-negotiables.
Because the whole goal is to elevate.
Ooh,
We just want to help as many women as we absolutely
as we help ourselves, right?
As we help ourselves. And Jessica said it, time passes. And if you're at the same place today that you were 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and sad to say 10 years ago, let's do something different. Sis.
Yeah, yep. Hey, and if there's anything we can do, right? To help you.
Absolutely.
So we're
reach
here.
Reach out.
Yes, let us know.
Okay.
All right.
I think we done chopped it up sufficiently. Do people still
yeah.
Yeah. You said we chopped it up. And I know you didn't see me.
Feel free to be a hopper and say that.
This is good, you guys.
Season 3, episode 1.
We are back. We are back. It is so good.
I'm excited to be back.
We're ready for the ride, you guys. And
ready.
you just never know where we're gonna land. But hey, it's all about the journey.
Yes.
Not the right.
And we appreciate all of you guys for joining us. We didn't even say that in the beginning. We have some day ones that are still hanging with us. We appreciate it. Oh, Gigi, that's my former coworker, Gloria Guzman.
Oh, hey. And Iris.
Hey, Gigi. IRS. Because that's the only place I've ever worked. So, yes. Okay. What'd you say?
You said, that's the only place I ever work. I said, see their commitment.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a whole other story, but okay,
we'll
go with it.
We'll go with that one.
Okay, well, guys, thank you. Any closing words, Jessica, Tammy?
No, I think this was absolutely amazing. And I just want to challenge all of our listeners to, like you stated earlier, just comment like some of you guys non-negotiables, or what are some things that you guys want us to talk about under this session that we're titling self-love and non-negotiable. So
Yeah, and I'm just excited about, again, this conversation, because it has helped me, think about what my non-negotiables are. I will say, because when we started this conversation, I was like, I don't know. But as, we continued on having the conversation, it was like, okay, so these are some things that are deal breakers or, not up for discussion, some of my core values. So just enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely.
So, hey, thanks for rocking with us.
We're done. This is our new sign off. Self-love.
Let me try. Okay, I got it.
London said use your fingers, not your thumb.
I'm not doing that because that's too hard. My fingers don't do that.
No other way, London. When I come, just show me.
Bye, guys.
Bye.